For those of you who don't know me, my name's Lorraine Holloway-White. For the last few years, I have been trying to teach people the differences between the supernatural gifts of God that are used for His benefit and all of mankind, and those that are man-taught in classes and used basically just to pass, allegedly, messages from the dead and to make a business out of it. Now, the two are poles apart. They're completely different and should never ever be confused as being one and the same. I have written several books, and 3 of them contain prophecies or predictions, some of which have already come to be true or seem to be true. Those who know of my work have noticed this, and I think it's time that others now got to see and hear the contents of one of the books, which contains a lot of prophecies and predictions that were given to me and asked for me to share them with you. Now, this is the book that's already been done, called Predictions and Prophecies. It has my name on it, but it isn't my predictions, it isn't my prophecies. They have come from what I believe to be heaven. I test the spirits at all times, and anybody at all who believes they're getting information from somewhere that is not from our world, and I'm not talking psychic work, that's totally different, they should always try and test from where it has come. I believe in God 100%. I hope that everything I get is coming from the place I believe it to be coming, which is heaven. God never lies, and so if anything told to us doesn't come true or is seen to be wrong, then it won't be from Him. Now, obviously, we can't test everything because it's not all going to happen immediately, and as you will hear in this book, for those of you who continue to listen and wish to hear the chapters I'm going to read to you, you will hear that some of it is to happen beyond our lifetime and into other lifetimes. Some of it is to happen within the lifetime of some of us now still living, and some has already been seen to come true. What you make of it is up to you as an individual, whether you wish to believe it or not. I know I'll be ridiculed by many. Many have tried, and it doesn't bother me, I can assure you, so I wouldn't waste your breath if I were you. There is nothing any person living can do or say about me or to me that's going to offend or upset me in any way whatsoever. Many have tried, and they've all failed. I will read the chapters of this to you on a series of videos. And the reason I'm going to do it this way is because I think these words need to be heard by more people. They need to be talked about. They need to be acted upon by those who believe in those words. I know many won't. They've even indicated to us many won't. But there are others who will. There are others who are already spreading similar messages. Some are being ignored, others are being listened to by a select few people. The reason I'm doing it this way is because up till now the only avenue open to me has been on my blog and through printing the books and doing them online. Now, Amazon, Barnes and Noble and other online stores don't allow you to offer your books free of charge. Of course they don't. They've got to distribute them. They need to make their living. And so we have to put a charge on our books so that they can then take their cut. The minimum price we can put on them is 99 cents or 99 pence if it's in Britain or America. And obviously equivalent for other countries. So that's the minimum we can do. I want my books to be free. Now, if it is printed, I have to pay for each page that's in that book. So the covers have to be paid for, each page within it has to be paid for. So there is a minimum price I can put my book up for sale. Now, each place that sells it, because there's one distributor of that book, if it's bought from them, I get a little more profit. However, If I cut that down so I get no real profit, which wouldn't bother me at all to get this book out there and heard, it means then I will actually have to pay, as well as their commission, I will have to pay them to actually sell my book to you. I will be paying you to read it, which is obviously totally ludicrous. So the only other way open to me is to do videos. And this is what I intend doing. I shall read the introduction and chapter 1 today. We'll see how time goes. I may do chapter 2. They're very little chapters. But I will then do a series of chapters after that where I will read the rest of the book to you. And as I say, I leave you to make up your own minds. I don't dictate to or tell anyone what they should or shouldn't believe in, or how they should and shouldn't be behaving. I am just passing on messages I'm asked to pass. I'm asked to give guidance to people for those who want guidance. I tell people everything I'm asked to share and to guide with. It is then up to them to make their own decisions, which path they choose, what they want to believe in or not believe in, and how they wish to live. That's not for me to judge or talk about or push on anybody. You are all individuals, and how you live is up to you and between you and your maker, if you believe in a maker. I do. Let me just show you. Behind me, on my wall, is that. That used to belong to my uncle, who was a priest of 60 years in a Catholic church. He died a couple of years ago, and I was lucky enough to be given that from the presbytery where he lived. And I hold it very dear to my heart. So, without further ado, let's put on my reading glasses and let's begin. The words in this book were written by me, but inspired by another or others. I was aware they were given by one person, but that person is from one of many who sit together at God's right hand for a purpose they explain in these pages. I say person, although that's a term used by us, as we can better understand it than saying pure spirit. If I'm really honest, I know the content came from pure spirit of God's heavenly kingdom, but actually feel everything written was given by a person who was once of our world, but appointed by them for the purpose of passing me their words. I also feel I know who that person is and why they would have been chosen, but that's private for me to know only. I do not ever sit and ask for messages or words to be given to me. Everything I do happens naturally. When they're to give me words and I'm not expecting it, I start to yawn, even though I'm not very tired. The yawning happens constantly for about 5 minutes, making my eyes stream until the words come into my head. The speed with which I type is far quicker than normal in order for me to keep up with the words they give me. There is talk of devastation, destruction of countries, sky, sea, land, animals, disease, paedophilia, bestiality, religion, the afterlife, and so much more is touched upon within these pages. It is hard-hitting, but in a way that is far gentler than I would ever word it myself. What you make of it is a personal thing to you. They say many will hate the content, and others will rejoice. Those who find it negative will probably be of little awareness about the ways those sent by God truly work, and they'll prefer the ways of false spirituality and spirits as offered by so many today. As false spirituality, allowing everyone to behave and live as they wish with no judgment or retribution from God. They may also be in denial about our world as it already is seen to be. Those who find the book positive will see the truths that lie within these pages and be prepared to look at themselves in an honest way and help in the ways asked of them. When the word spirit is spoken of, it is those of God's kingdom that are spoken of, and not those who come to do readings professing to be of the dead. When we leave our earthly bodies behind us, We will one day enter a world of pure spirit that will hopefully lead us to God and paradise. Only spirits who lead us to God are the ones we should be listening to. I am overawed by the fact I have been chosen to deliver these words, and I apologise profusely to you for being mentioned in here. I was going to cut those bits out. I still wish I had. But I was told I must leave them in. If what they say within these pages is seen to happen, together with what they say is to happen to me, it will help show readers their words are true and are indeed of God, for God never lies. They warn of how I and others like me, who are used to pass their words to the world, will be treated by some who will be angered and who will ridicule and try to discredit us. They will not like what they hear and read, due to being offered or offering the new brand of spirituality more to man's liking. What man thinks of me means very little. There is only one I serve and answer to, and that is God. Now, that is the introduction to the book. It's told you roughly what it's about, and it's also said a little bit, you've heard a little bit about what I'm about and what I'm like. I do feel very strongly that the church is very remiss in not explaining about the gifts of God to those who are desperately seeking answers about it. And I'm hoping this book will help some of you understand, and that these videos will help some of you understand. For nobody today seems to be testing anything. They just believe anything they hear. I want you to test me. I want you to not believe me, because by not believing me, it means you will be careful. You will test. You will try and find out if maybe I'm genuine and honest, and if these words may be. For if these words are not from God, then they're going to be from his opposite, and there is no way in the world I want to be working with him or for him, or anything or any spirits that come from him. And the only way to ensure that is to test, not once, not 2 or 3 or 4 times, but every single time anything is given to me, or I feel or see or hear or smell anything. Every time, and that's what all of you should be doing also. Now, I think that's enough of a lecture for the first tape, so I'm going to post this up, and the next one I'm going to do will be me reading the first chapters. They're all very short chapters, so I won't have to bore you for too long, but the next one will be the chapters of the book starting, and it will be words from heaven. Thank you for listening. And I hope you do listen to the other chapters that are to follow.